Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Chainsaw Man Season 1. And this came out in 2022, and it's an anime that I've heard good things about it, and I just never got around to seeing it up until now because I saw the Steelbook on Blu ray. And I was like, okay, I'll check this out, give it a chance, see how much I like it, and I enjoyed it overall. I enjoyed the tone of the show a lot, and there were parts where it's kind of sad and depressing, especially in the first episode, because we are just watching our main character, Denji, just trying to pay off this debt that he owes, and then eventually we get to other things that happen later in the story, and he turns into a more of a comedic character that is very entertaining to watch, and I enjoyed the violence in the show as well. That was fun, and the animation looked good. And the only complaints I would have with it as far as the animation goes is that I prefer the 2D animation over the 3D animation. I just felt as though the 2D looked a lot better than the 3D, and it was also not really blended well and was very noticeable to me. And when Chainsaw Man is like in his Chainsaw Man form, like there's no 2D animation shots of him at all from what I can remember. Like there's a 3D animation everywhere, and that was a little bit disappointing, but that's not to say I didn't enjoy the action, because I enjoyed those scenes very much. They weren't like incredible, but still entertaining to watch, and there was a lot less Chainsaw Man than I was expecting. It's mostly just about these characters, and not a whole lot is going on. It's mostly just trying to develop this world and establish these characters. And there were moments where I did feel genuine tension at certain parts, and I was afraid as to whether or not these characters were going to make it or what was going to happen. That was fun. And the characters were all interesting and fun to watch for me personally. My favorite was Power. She was pretty funny and definitely brought a lot of energy to every moment in which we got with her. The three main characters that we get, Denji, Power, and Aki, all great characters. Loved seeing them, and there were moments where it definitely did try to have a style and tried to stand out. And I also love the designs of everything, like Chainsaw Man. I think he has a good design, and all of that kind of stuff I really enjoyed, and I just love what they are able to do with it being animated and all. Just have free reins to do whatever you want, basically. Like anything your mind can create, you can just show off. And I also enjoyed where the story went. It's not all that complicated, and as far as a plot is concerned, in terms of like what is happening overall, you don't really get too many answers, because with this being the first season, I assume the route that they took while making this was just establish the world and the characters and put little hints of things of what's to come later. And I understand that. I didn't hate that about the show, because obviously with this being a big world, you have to communicate a lot of things. And same thing with Solo Leveling. There's a lot that you have to establish, and probably in later seasons, you'll be able to just commit to whatever you want. And that stuff I understand for sure. As far as issues that I have with it, there are moments where the pacing did kind of drag for me, especially with the sixth episode. And that was literally just like a filler episode. I was like, oh my God, we're doing nothing. We're just stuck here. And I was imagining, okay, this is very obvious of what you should be doing, but you're just not doing that, and you're just walking around doing nothing. And that was just a huge waste of time for me. And there was a major moment where you're supposed to feel sad because of something that happens. Without spoiling anything, I'm not going to say what that was, but there was a huge moment for a character that I just felt was unearned for me personally, because the character was not only not a huge character, but okay, maybe someone would debate this, but I just felt as though that character was in ways underdeveloped, and I only started to like that character around the time where something major happened to them. And by that point, I was like, oh, You just did that. That was kind of disappointing for me. And there were a couple of moments, and I know this is kind of off topic and in ways like, why are you bringing this up? But there were a couple moments early on in the first half where I was reminded a little bit of High School DxD a little bit. And if you haven't seen that show, you're not really missing a whole lot. But there were moments where I was kind of reminded of that. But then this show kind of just becomes its own thing and moves away from that. I was like, okay, it's not doing the exact same thing at the very least. And if I'm going to compare it to something like Solo Leveling, which I've covered earlier this year, I will say I was more invested with the characters and the story and the action in that show. Whereas this, it's still good, just I wasn't as invested in comparison. And the show was kind of a few different things combined, and it did remind me of Solo Leveling and High School DxD at times, and even to some extent One Punch Man, but still, I didn't find it distracting because of that. I did also kind of like how they treat the main character, Denji, and everything that he experiences. That was fun, and overall, it's a good show that I really enjoyed, and I would definitely recommend it. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Season 1 of Chainsaw Man a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Chainsaw Man Season 1 and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Addams Family Values. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.